Welcome to the 54th edition of Make Pro Wrestling Majestic. Again, I am Tiger Height. We do not know the champion.
No, I am Peanut Gallery, but you are the interim champion.
I am the interim champion. So, we have two really big shows to talk about. We're going to do everything in one break, our shows, and then the final one.
Yes.
So, let's talk about Triplemania. So, this was, I think, the first Triplemania that was available on Fight TV. I did pay for it. It was like $20.
Yeah.
And it was definitely worth it. It was very
I highly
good.
recommend. It wasn't actually a bad pay-per-view.
They really did well. Also, a lot of their themes, it just gets stuck in your head,
Right.
and it's super awesome. So, let's talk about our first match, which was Pentagon Jr. taking on Ultimo Dragon in one of those Rutas matches.
Right.
Essentially a tournament.
So the loser is the one who advances. So if you win, then you're out of the tournament, which is good because the end of the tournament's a mass versus mass match.
Right. And then yeah, exactly. And people are like, oh my god, how did Ultimo Dragon stay looking like he's 30? Because, I mean, Ultimo Dragon's been wrestling since the 80s.
Yeah.
And he looked freaking awesome. Apparently he does DDP yoga.
Oh.
So that's how he kept in shape. This was a good opener. I really enjoyed it. I thought in parts it was a little slow, and also the styles were a little clashy, which I didn't like.
They didn't mend very well. Let's put it that way.
But it was the Asai DDT, which once again, it's cool seeing Ultimo Dragon wrestle again for the win. So Ultimo Dragon's legacy is still intact. Let's talk about, so it was not a triple threat, it was a fatal four-way for the World Mixed Tag Team Champions.
Right.
They introduced new title belts, which were made by the person who made Goldie, actually.
Cool.
So, yeah, it was Latigo and Maravilla, Kommander and Sexy Star 2. I do not know why Octagon Jr. was not there. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti.
Your favorite couple.
No.
Yes.
And then the champions who I do not know. Did I write them down? No, I didn't. Of course I didn't.
No.
So Sammy Guevara feigned an injury.
He did.
And Parca Negra
was the
replacement. They did a match. It was whatever. It was fun overall. You know, it's a spot fest for the titles. Sammy Guevara was not hurt, and it was the tie KO for Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti to win. Lovely.
I know.
Oh, and also, I got a lot of slack for people who are trying to white knight Ty Conti. You're not, number one, you're not going to be able to sleep with her if you white knight her. So just stop right there.
Just stop that right there.
And I love it because people are like white knighting her. And I'm like, dude, you know what they did. We know what they did. Cut it out.
I still do her, but we know what they did.
Right. It's not a principle of them in ring ability.
Right.
I want to make that clear. I actually do like Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti as performers.
Yeah.
Maybe a little sloppy, but they're younger. But I'm talking about their morality.
Yeah.
Which is coming into great question.
You know, fucking millennials, man.
I know, no kidding. So, even though we are millennials, we're the good millennials, though. So, Villano IV and LA Park, this was by far the best Rutitas tournament match.
It was the best one out of the four.
I thought the explanation of the rivalry was perfect. The actual match itself had to be brutal and bloody, but unfortunately, they got a little overzealous with the mask ripping. So
yes, they did.
They had to do a bunch of cuts to make sure they don't show the faces of them. It's like, if you're going to do that, do it not crazy like they did. Because essentially, LA Park was unmasked. It was a small package for LA Park to win.
Yep.
Which I thought was kind of cool.
So that means that then Villano gets to advance to the next round at the next Triplemania.
Exactly. So there we go. In Villano, whatever. I thought overall it was good. Let's see who he's facing. The ability is not there for Villano to do what he did back in the day, but, you know, that's why it was hardcore.
Right.
Made sense. So let's talk about this three-way tag team match. It was Jack Cartwheel and Laredo Kid, La Faccion Ingobernable, and then Taurus and Johnny Caballero.
Which means gentleman in Spanish.
Yes.
Johnny Gentleman.
I love it. And it was like Johnny Superstar. Johnny insert name here, essentially. This was a really fun match.
It was.
I just really enjoyed this. This Jack Cartwheel guy, this is the first I've ever seen of him, and holy crap, he's very athletic.
Very athletic.
There's definitely something with him. He has a very high jump.
Yes.
Very high.
Yep.
Really crisp stuff.
Yeah.
He's like 21. I'm like, ooh, man, he's just going to get better.
He's just going to, it's only going to go from here.
And it was a low blow roll up for Caballero and Taurus to win, which I liked because Caballero is a heel.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. It kept everybody protected.
Yep.
and everybody just looked really good. Just a fun, crazy spot festy match, but that's Lucha Libre, though.
Pretty much.
It's a very finite taste.
All right, here we go.
This was the worst out of all of them.
This was the weakest. This is actually probably the weakest match of the night.
I think so, too. I'm actually going to agree with you on that. Blue Demon Jr. and Rayo de Jalisco Jr., this was not the last one. Also, by the way, when they don't start a show at 8 fucking o'clock Central.
Oh, I know, right?
That was really annoying. It was like 6 o'clock here, and we're like, God damn, it's really late.
I know.
But whatever. Anyway, it was a guitar shot for the win. This was a mess. From start to finish, everything in between. Both of these guys can barely fucking move, and it just was a mess. I mean,
so I don't remember who won this match.
It was Rayo de Jalisco Jr.
So either Blue Demon Jr. or Villano III. Those are my two to kind of lose the whole shebang and be unmasked.
Villano IV is going to be the one to be unmasked at the end. I think so.
It's between him and Blue
they're
Demon,
not. They are not unmasking Blue Demon Jr.
Well, Blue Demon Jr. is old.
Yeah, but his dad was never unmasked.
Oh, that's true.
I do not believe they're going to have Blue Demon Jr. unmasked.
I never know. AAA does a lot of weird things.
But Blue Demon, that's almost like saying that El Santos has to unmask. Now, he did, right before he died.
Wait, didn't he unmask himself?
Now, this was way after he retired,
right.
And he died literally the day after.
Right.
And he only pulled it off slightly, but that was it. But you just don't do that. And this was a shit match. Cien Caras, who can barely fucking move, stumbled his way out there with his sons. If you're wondering, that's Mascar Año 2000, essentially, because that was when he was unmasked by Rayo de Jalisco Jr. I didn't know who was babyface or heel. Blue Demon had to be stretchered out, so it's like, oh, that's fucking fantastic. A shit match, and then throw up the dreaded X sign.
Right. Pretty much. Yeah.
This was by far the shittiest match of that. I was actually surprised this one was bad.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. So 6-person tag. I really got bored in this match, and I don't like saying that.
And I think what happened. This I think was the sleeper match.
This was an absolute disaster.
Well, because I think we were just exhausted by how bad that one match, the previous match was. That I really just kind of lost track of time with this one.
Yeah, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock too. I was like, oh my god, I'm like 8,000 drinks in, and I'm done with this shit. So Deonna Purrazzo, Andrade El Idolo, and Cibernaetico taking on Pagano, Taya Valkyrie, and Bandito. A lot of these people are very good in the ring. They did not give a shit.
No, they did not.
That's what I felt. They couldn't care less.
It was kind of the death spot on the card.
Also, it was a disqualification. A promotion where they are so lax about disqualifications. The match ended in the worst mental way possible.
Yeah.
This was absolutely horrendous.
Sounds about right.
Canek and Psycho Clown. I thought this was going to be the worst one.
But it didn't. It turned out to be the second worst. But
it was a mess.
It was a mess, right?
But it wasn't awful,
right?
Dr. Wagner Jr. actually made an interference. I thought that one kind of saved it. Because now we're gonna have a Psycho Clown Andrade who came out as well, and Dr. Wagner Jr. program for probably the next couple of Triplemanias, and I'm actually okay with that.
I can't remember who won this match.
It was Canek.
Canek
did win because it was the interference, and Canek did win.
That's right.
Canek is so old. He body slammed Andre the Giant multiple times in the early 80s. So he was on top in CMLL. This company didn't even exist when he was at his peak.
And see, that's what I get why they're bringing in a bunch of older people, like people who are on their last legs.
He was really popular. I'll at least give him that credit. I did like how just in general with these, I liked how they really promoted the legacy of each wrestler.
Yeah.
And it made each of them feel more important.
Right.
Even like with somebody like Canek, who was way past when I started wrestling, I'm like, I can see how this guy is the big deal that he is.
Exactly.
Very colorful, obviously. He looked good for his age. I'll at least give him that, but he could barely move.
Right.
Psycho Clown tried his best. I love Psycho Clown. He just can't get that theme song out of his head. But, it is what it is. I did like the, the Dr. Wagner Jr. stuff.
Yeah,
so
I did like
fine.
that as well.
And we have our main event. It was the Young Bucks taking on Hijo del Vikingo and Fenix. This at least was a
decent main event.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't. I wish there was more titles on the line, especially.
Oh yeah,
for,
I know there weren't a lot. There was a serious lack of titles on the line in this
and especially
show.
for something like Triplemania, you want to pack up stuff that feels important.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of matches that didn't have that.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my god, for crying out loud. So I mean, I guess we can end this. It was a Meltzer driver for the win.
For the Young Bucks.
For the Young Bucks, yep.
Yep.
They had like a big little snafu with everybody. I can't remember who was in it, nor did I care. But let's talk about making this majestic again, even though this one might be a little bit challenging because overall, I really liked the show.
Yeah, I did too. The production quality was it was better than any other AAA show I've seen.
The commentary team was very informed, very good.
They knew their stuff, and they really did their research.
They did their research, and they explained everything to where I could enjoy it.
No, exactly. I think that makes all the difference, especially for something in a different language.
Right, a totally different culture, a totally different language. It makes the experience a lot better, and also, I liked how it was on Fight TV.
Yeah.
It made it feel more important.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see more Mexican wrestling on Fight now.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see CMLL.
Right, but just running down the card here, this match was fine. I wouldn't have done anything to change it.
Maybe have it.
The only thing that might have been better is if a world title was on the line in the main event, because that's usually what we do. But I don't think El Hijo del Vikingo has like a legitimate contender as of right now.
No, because a lot of the focus is on the mask versus mask. This would have been a perfect opportunity to get somebody in there. What I would have personally done with this, you know what? We'll talk about that later. The Jeff Jarrett segment.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So Jeff Jarrett came out
So
after. It was after this match, right?
No, it was actually sort of in the middle.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't write it down in my notes because I was like, whatever. I was actually cooking at the time.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett. It was Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett came out, and then...
No, here's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Because they were in Monterrey, which was the Latin Lover's hometown.
Oh, that's right. So Latin Lover came out.
Who looked really good for his age.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Jarrett came out, beat the shit out of the ring announcer, called everybody dirty Mexicans, got super heat. Then Vampiro came out. I loved it. I loved everything. So they're setting up definitely a Rey Escorpion, Jeff Jarrett versus Vampiro and Latin Lover match, and I am okay with all of that.
They might even do a one-on-one match between Jeff Jarrett and Latin Lover, but that'll probably be at the last of the Triplemanias.
Oh yeah, because that's gonna be the one in Mexico City.
Yeah, they're gonna put the marquee matches on there and sell everything.
Yeah, the other one is in Tijuana. Do they have an arena big enough for a?
They're just doing a baseball stadium like they did this one.
Oh, they are. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
is there a baseball stadium there?
Oh God, yes.
Okay, so I wouldn't have done anything different. Here's what I would have done differently with this, just in general. I would have done a 6-man tag with another person on the babyface, and I would have done another American like Adam Cole or something in this position, and maybe set up a El Hijo del Vikingo versus Adam Cole for the mega title at the last Triplemania.
Okay.
Because then at least there is a contender that is directly involved, because they set up nothing within that scene.
And I'm going to talk about this in my segment a little later on, but I would rather them get someone from AAA, someone internally.
Okay.
To do that instead.
Maybe a surprise or something. I don't know if the Young Bucks teamed with anybody when they were in AAA. Maybe something like that, but Adam Cole would have been the easiest choice, especially if they're doing this on Fight. You want to get an American to be in a marquee card-esque match.
Yeah. Well, they have the Young Bucks, so they have that.
That was kind of where I was going with that, because they're really trying to push that narrative into the United States clearly, and if they want to really promote this AEW alliance, I think even if Vikingo won, it still would have been a good match.
Right.
It would have been safe, too.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I liked this, but once again, it's hard to make this majestic again when a lot of these guys are coming in for a payday one-and-done sort of thing.
Yeah, they're doing a one-and-done sort of thing.
Let's talk about the tournament as a whole, because I think you alluded to that you like that the loser moves on, where the winner keeps his legacy.
Right.
And I don't know.
They're doing it because it's Triplemania season, or whatever the case is. Either way, what they're in any case, Mexican culture, mask for the Lucha de Expuestas is, and we talked about this in a previous episode, but Lucha de Expuestas is actually more important than the world title in many cases in these promotions.
So they're probably going to have a big time thing. That'll probably be the main event at the last Triplemania.
Maybe. I don't know if I see that as the main event.
Maybe not main event, but definitely penultimate.
Yeah.
Like most certainly. And like I said, they had Psycho Clown in there. They're trying their best to keep these older guys safe. And I think Psycho Clown is definitely a worker that they trust.
Yeah.
Especially with a guy like Canek.
Yeah.
But
we talked about how it would make it more. Obviously, it was a very good match. It set up a very good thing. So I think I'm
with Andrade, Dr. Wagner Jr. and Psycho Clown.
Right.
I don't know who from Psycho Circus is going to be on that level. I just don't see it. But once again, here is why. I don't know why Psycho Clown got so over with this crowd, and none of the other ones did, because they do not deserve to be in that position other than Psycho Clown.
Right.
Maybe merch. I don't know. I don't get it. So let's talk about this one.
This was a throwaway. I would have just had not this
I would have
match.
had this in general. I would have done like this would have been a perfect place for a title match.
It would have been
an absolutely perfect place. You have the Latin American champion, you have the World Cruiserweight champion, you have the tag team champions, you have the minis champion, you have a lot of champions. Why weren't any of those on the line here? Hell, I mean, you had Laredo Kid on the card. Have him defend that champion. He's been champion for like 1,100 days.
Right. So, whatever. All right, this
was an absolute fucking disaster from the word go.
Yep.
Can we get some of these older guys to do maybe a house show or two so we know that they're in ring shape before getting on a stage like this?
Right.
Because this makes you look like CMLL. This goes against everything Antonio Pena wanted.
Right. So this match should not have existed.
Zero. I didn't care. I don't care if it's Rayo de Jalisco and Blue Demon Jr.
Right.
They're way past their prime, 25 years. Maybe do this match 10 years ago, I would have been okay with it. Once again, a match that didn't necessarily need to happen.
Right. It could have perfect for a title match, but nope, they just don't want to put titles on the line.
Right. I just don't understand. Laredo Kid is a World Cruiserweight champion. He is their champion.
Right.
And Black Taurus, isn't he not the Latin American champion?
I think he is.
He didn't even have the belt with him.
I know.
What the fuck? What is the point of titles if you're not going to have them on the line?
Exactly.
They need to be important. You need to have something.
Right.
But they just wanted a big hoopla. But I will at least say one thing. They did allude, because Johnny Caballero did pin Laredo Kid.
Yeah.
So they did imply that maybe he wants to go back for the World Cruiserweight. Maybe they're waiting till then.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right.
But at least allude to it a little bit more so there's interest.
And I think they had a lot of tag team matches because there were a lot of singles matches on this card as well. I don't know if they wanted to overwhelm people with singles matches, but I would have rather had that. I don't need a bunch of tag team matches. That
mean nothing to me.
Right.
Exactly. Also, I did like Johnny Cabanero's theme. It was fucking awesome. This one was the best one. They explained this one a lot better than others.
Yep.
I thought the pillage and plunder was appropriate, and they just structured this really well. I wouldn't have really done anything different with it.
No.
Also, including the fact that L.A. Park, who won the match, lives there. So he was very over with the crowd.
Yep.
I thought that was good overall.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done anything different with this one. They added the titles in there because I think people complained and there was no interest.
Right.
Once again, multi-person tag team match. I do like how they do the mixed tag where it's like men versus women, women versus men.
Right.
There's a different dynamic there.
And
I'm getting more comfortable with it too.
I'm gonna talk about this as well, but they put the titles on very interesting pair. And I think the reason for that is because they're trying to get American audiences into this.
I know,
into AAA.
Exactly, I know they are.
And so they're showcasing.
That's why FTR is a AAA World Tag Team Champion.
And they weren't even there.
Yeah, why weren't FTR there? And maybe they just want to wait until some of the bigger shows to do that. I like this match.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done anything different. I thought this one was.
It was a
pretty
good opener.
Yep. You needed more of the Pentagon Juniors within this tournament, though. Because, I mean, Ultimo Dragon was still fit enough to be fine because he was younger of the older guys.
Right.
But you needed to pair them with that because, once again, like Canek and Psycho Clown, that was a better dynamic.
Right.
Instead of old versus old, you needed old versus new.
Right.
You know? So, there you go. That was the ending of Triplemania in Monterrey. Overall, really liked it.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely give the show a thumbs up on that.
Yeah.
So, Peanut Gallery, what are we talking about when we come back from break?
So we're going to talk about inter-promotional title holders, belt collectors, those programs. So
okay.
we'll get to that when we come back.
All right.